If you have ever connected an external monitor to a high-end Mac setup only to feel like something vital was missing, you are definitely not alone. For years, creative professionals, video editors, and power users across the United States have stared at the original Apple Studio display and asked a very simple question: why are we paying premium prices for a panel that feels stuck in the past? When Apple dropped the original monitor alongside the Mac Studio, it was praised for its gorgeous 5K resolution and aluminum aesthetic. But let us be completely honest with ourselves. 60 Hz? Standard dynamic range only? A dated internal chip that felt like an afterthought? In a world where our iPhones, iPads, and MacBook Pros have moved on to blistering high refresh rates, incredible peak brightness, and advanced display technology, staying still is moving backward. That is precisely why the tech community is buzzing right now. Apple is quietly preparing to rewrite the rules of desktop displays with the upcoming Studio display successor. And if the latest leaks, regulatory filings, and supply chain whispers coming straight out of Cupertino are any indication, this is not going to be a minor specs bump. This is the monitor upgrade we have all been desperately waiting for. But before we break down every single hidden feature and structural change that is about to hit your desk, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what is coming next is going to completely change how you view your workspace. Let us start with the elephant in the room and address the biggest complaint creators have hurled at Apple since 2022, the refresh rate. If you spend your days scrubbing through high frame rate timelines, moving windows across multi-display rigs, or simply enjoying the buttery smoothness of a modern promotion MacBook Pro, dropping down to a sluggish 60 Hz monitor feels genuinely painful. Your cursor stutters, scrolling loses its crispness, and the overall experience lacks that signature fluid responsiveness we expect from modern hardware. Well, industry insiders and deep code discoveries inside recent software builds have confirmed that Apple is finally fixing this. The next generation Studio display is heavily rumored to introduce true promotion support, scaling all the way up to 120 Hz with a dynamically variable refresh rate. Imagine scrolling through massive web pages, grading video footage, or working in complex design suites where every single movement glides across your screen with absolute zero friction. It is the kind of upgrade that once you experience it, you can literally never go back. Once you taste that level of visual fluidity on a 27-inch 5K canvas, standard 60 Hz monitors will feel entirely broken. But a smoother refresh rate is only half the battle. Let us talk about contrast, brightness, and the eternal struggle of working with HDR content. The original model topped out at 600 nits of brightness with standard dynamic range. For basic office work or casual browsing, it was fine. But if you were trying to master high-end HDR video content or working in a brightly lit studio space, it often left you wanting more depth, more punch, and true dynamic range. Rumors and regulatory database trackers point directly to a massive leap forward: the integration of advanced mini-LED backlighting technology. By packing thousands of microscopic local dimming zones behind that stunning 5K panel, Apple is poised to eliminate the washed-out blacks of traditional IPS panels and deliver deep, inky blacks right next to blazing peak brightness levels. We are talking about a monitor that can punch out incredible brightness for HDR workflows, making highlights pop off the screen with breathtaking realism. Whether you are color grading cinematic 4K video, reviewing high-resolution photography, or just watching movies in a dark room, mini-LED backlighting transforms the entire viewing experience from ordinary to reference-grade quality. Underneath the gorgeous aluminum chassis, Apple is also giving the internal processing a massive, overdue injection of raw power. Inside the current model sits an older mobile chip handling basic input, audio processing, and camera features. For the upcoming iteration, supply chain reports indicate a massive jump to a modern 3nm Apple Silicon chip, heavily pointing toward the A19 or A19 Pro architecture. Why does a monitor even need a powerful chip like that? Because a modern studio monitor is no longer just a dumb glass panel plugged into a tower. It handles complex on-device image processing for the built-in webcam, advanced machine learning features, seamless device switching, color calibration algorithms, and ultra-fast data routing. With a cutting-edge processor driving the display logic, you can expect massive improvements to center stage camera performance, sharper video calls, superior microphone beamforming, and instantaneous connection speeds. It turns your monitor into a smart, self-contained hub that optimizes your entire desktop ecosystem in real time. Speaking of connectivity, let us look at what is happening around the back of the device. Professional creators demand high-speed data transfer pipelines. They work with massive multi-terabyte project files, external RAID arrays, and complex daisy-chained workstation setups. The original model relied heavily on legacy port speeds that could bottleneck intensive multi-device workflows. Rumors suggest that Apple is modernizing the entire I/O layout by bringing blistering Thunderbolt 5 connectivity to the desktop display lineup. This means you will be able to push massive amounts of data at unprecedented speeds, daisy-chain multiple high-resolution displays together without dropping a single frame, and deliver robust high-wattage power delivery straight to your MacBook Pro through a single cable. Imagine plugging one single cable into your laptop when you sit down at your desk and instantly powering your entire workstation, charging your machine at maximum speed, transferring files at lightning velocity, and outputting pristine 5K visuals to multiple screens simultaneously. That is the definition of a clean, pro-grade desktop setup. When it comes to the physical exterior design, Apple is sticking closely to the philosophy of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Display insiders note that the overall aesthetic will look remarkably similar to the current generation, retaining that iconic, minimalist slim-profile aluminum enclosure that looks right at home in high-end creative studios across New York, Los Angeles, and everywhere in between. And honestly, that is a good thing. The build quality, the precision-milled aluminum, the optional nanotexture glass for cutting down harsh ambient glare, and the beautifully engineered tilt and height-adjustable stands are already industry benchmarks. Apple does not need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to the outer shell because the original design was already a masterpiece of industrial engineering. Instead, they are focusing their energy entirely on where it matters most: the pixels, the refresh rate, the backlight technology, and the internal silicon. Now, let us talk about timing and pricing, because this is where everything starts coming together. Regulatory filings for unreleased Apple monitor hardware have already begun appearing in international databases, which historically signals that a product launch is drawing very close. Industry analysts and supply chain trackers point toward a release window in the first half of the year, perfectly timed to accompany next-generation Mac Studio and Mac Pro desktop refreshes. As for pricing, you can expect Apple to maintain its premium positioning, likely starting around the $1,500 mark for the base configuration, scaling upward depending on stand options and nanotexture glass choices. It is an investment, absolutely. But for professional creators, developers, and enthusiasts who spend 10 hours a day staring at a screen, having a reference quality display that protects your eyes, accelerates your workflow, and brings your creative vision to life with absolute color accuracy is priceless.